There are moments when tiredness feels easier to hide than explain. It's 9:10 at night, and the only real light left in the room is coming from your laptop screen. You sit at your desk, opening your LinkedIn profile, changing one line in your professional summary, then deleting it before anyone ever sees it. The cursor blinks like it's waiting for you to prove something. Why can one small line on a profile feel heavier than the whole day behind it? This is the quiet habit of hiding exhaustion behind being driven. And in this video, we'll slow down and look at why that happens, what it protects, and how it can start to feel less lonely. Hiding exhaustion behind a driven LinkedIn profile is when your public work story stays sharp, ambitious, and impressive, while your private life is quietly running on fumes. It can look polished from the outside. The headline sounds confident. The job title sounds solid. The achievements look clean, organized, and easy to admire. But behind that page, there may be a person who hasn't taken a real breath in weeks, a person who keeps updating the image because the image feels safer than the truth. One common reason is that many people learn to connect being valued with being useful. It may start in school, at home, or in an early job, when praise mostly came after effort, achievement, or being the person who could handle more than expected. Over time, the mind can start to believe that rest makes you less impressive, while exhaustion becomes proof that you are serious. So when you are tired, you don't say, "I'm worn out," you polish the sentence that says you manage complex projects in fast-moving environments. The outside stays strong because being seen as tired feels too risky. Sometimes, it comes from working in a culture where everyone sounds like they are always building something. On LinkedIn, people often describe long hours as passion, pressure as growth, and burnout as dedication without ever naming the cost. When that becomes the air around you, it can feel strange to admit that your body is asking for quiet while your profile says you are excited for the next challenge. You might scroll past posts about promotions, launches, speaking events, and new roles, then look back at your own page like it is falling behind. The exhaustion doesn't disappear, it just gets dressed in cleaner language. There's also a quieter reason. Being driven can become a place to hide when you don't know who you are without performing. A job title can feel easier to hold than a feeling. A summary line can feel more controllable than the mess of being tired, unsure, disappointed, or quietly empty after another long day. So the profile becomes more than a profile, it becomes a small shield between you and the question you don't want to sit with yet. If people see ambition first, maybe they won't notice how close you are to running out of energy. It's late enough that the building feels different, even if you are working from home. The room is still, except for the soft sound of the fan and the little clicks from your keyboard. You type, "highly driven project manager with a passion for cross-functional execution," and for a second it looks believable. Then you delete passion, because it feels too bright for how you actually feel. You lean back in the chair and look at your own face in the dark part of the screen. The blue light makes you look more tired than you thought. There are unread messages, a glass of water you forgot to drink, and a calendar invite for tomorrow morning that already feels heavy. Nothing dramatic has happened. No one has yelled. No big collapse has arrived. But something in you feels like it has been holding its breath for too long. If you've been there, you're not strange. You might know someone who lives like this. This is what exhaustion can look like when it has learned to pass as ambition. It doesn't always show up as giving up. Sometimes it shows up as editing the perfect sentence so no one can tell how much it costs you to keep going. And there's something else here that isn't talked about enough. A driven profile can be honest and incomplete at the same time. You may truly care about your work. You may enjoy building things, leading people, solving problems, and seeing a project come together after weeks of chaos. The exhaustion doesn't mean the ambition was fake. It may mean the ambition has been carrying too many other jobs at once. Maybe it has been carrying your fear of being replaceable. Maybe it has been carrying your family's expectations, the pressure to keep moving up, or the quiet belief that slowing down would disappoint people who see you as capable. Maybe it has been carrying the version of you that once felt proud to be reliable, before reliability turned into always being available. That is the emotional contradiction of it. You can be proud of what you've built and tired of the version of yourself that had to build it that way. A small place to begin is with a private line that tells the truth without posting it anywhere. Before changing the profile, you can open a blank note and write one plain sentence: "The part of me that looks driven is also tired." Then you can add one fact from the day, like "I answered messages after dinner," or "I kept working after my focus was gone." This isn't a confession for the world. It is just a way to let your private life speak before your public image takes over again. Sometimes the smallest honest sentence creates a little space between who you are and what you're trying to prove. Another gentle shift is to let your work language become more human, even if only by one word. Instead of asking, how do I sound impressive? You might ask, does this sound like a real person I can live with being? That question changes the room a little. It doesn't erase the job title or take away the ambition. It just makes room for the person behind the role. Maybe the profile still says you manage complex projects, but it no longer has to pretend you are made of endless energy. Maybe it can be clear without being armored. This can matter because so much exhaustion grows in the gap between being seen and being known. A profile can show what you do. It cannot hold the whole story of what it takes from you. It cannot show the quiet desk at 9:10, the fan in the background, the blinking cursor, the way your shoulders drop when no one is watching. And maybe that is the part worth noticing. Not changing everything. Not making a public announcement. Just noticing that the driven version of you may have been doing more than building a career. It may have been protecting a tired person from being misunderstood. This is for the person whose profile says driven, while their desk knows how tired they are. You are not only the headline, the role, the promotion, the clean summary, or the sentence that makes you sound ready for more. You are also the quiet pause before you type, the breath you didn't realize you were holding, the part of you that wants to be seen without turning exhaustion into proof of worth. Maybe the real question isn't whether you are driven enough. Maybe it's whether the person behind the drive gets to be real, too.